Hey everyone, welcome. 2 weeks ago I did a video about these speakers, the Z-10 from Logitech. And in that video I showed you this, speaker was heavily damaged and we wanted to try to replace this foam edge. As you can see, I ordered one in combination with, of course, a little bottle of glue. And in today's video we're going to attempt repairing this speaker. This is the first time I'm actually trying to do this or trying a repair like this. So I'm actually quite curious on how this will turn out and if we will be successful or not. I will leave nothing out of this video, so if it goes bad, then of course it will be on a video as well. Before we can attempt this repair, I've got a couple of tools. I got a retractable hobby knife. I got a really tiny scissor for cutting around the edge because we're going to cut the old one off. And we got some cotton buds for cleaning the surface with alcohol, isopropyl alcohol. I will get that one in a bit. And some other tools. Maybe we will need some clamps for holding this down on the edge. And I noticed when this came in today that the new foam edge, it's actually rubber, is a little bit smaller than the original one. So I don't know if it will work at all and if it will fit and stick, and first time attempt. So we're gonna find that out in this video. I also found these units on eBay. In the last video I told you they were about $30. After a little bit more digging, I found them for about $13 to $15. But if this fails miserably, of course we have still the option to go with a brand new one and replace that in the speaker. But at first I just want to try to replace this. I got this stuff from a Dutch web shop, and I will leave the link in the video description if the products are any good. So you can check that out if you want. So they sell all kinds of these foam edges. And they also have lots of tutorials on the websites on how to perform the repair yourself. So for a noob like me, that should be helpful. So without further ado, let's just get started. I will record the whole repair with my Logitech cam so the Sony doesn't overheat. And you can follow me step by step, and I will talk through the repair. So let's get started. As you can see, this edge here is ripped, as I showed you in the previous video. So there are, of course, with this glue, you could also try to glue this together, but I don't think that will hold, and eventually it will rip again. I will need to take the whole speaker apart and do the same steps again, or replace it. Maybe I need to replace the whole edge then, I don't know. So I want to get ahead of that. As I mentioned before, this edge is this foam edge is a little bit smaller than the original one, so I don't know if it will get us into trouble along the way, but it's the only one I have, and it's the largest one I could order for this speaker size. So what we're going to do is carefully cut around this edge. This rubber edge is glued to the cone as well, and it's quite difficult to get those two separated. So I thought maybe it's an idea to glue the new rubber edge on top of this. So we just cut around the edge here as well, and we just glue it on top of that, and hopefully that will work. It kind of hurts to do this, to be honest. Once this rubber edge is completely off, and the speaker will need to be centered again. For that there are two options. We can cut this dust cap off, shim the voice coil inside, or we can just glue the new edge on the cone itself at first and later on the outside. And with a little bit of tweaking we can center the speaker manually and make some adjustments as well. The glue I bought is water based with rubber inside, I think. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's especially for things like this. So these Logitech speakers, when they first were released in 2007, were set on the market with an MSRP of above or about 100 euros here in the Netherlands. So not quite expensive speakers, and the units, they sell for only a couple of bucks, but what's the fun in that if you didn't try it yourself? Okay, And I hope the people who are in speaker repairs don't have to cringe so much watching me doing this. Yeah, so here we have the old edge. Yeah, nice. And maybe we can see it now. If we put it on top of the new one. Well, it's really a little bit bigger, the old one. Okay, so now that the rubber edge is off, it's time to, well, be a little bit more precise about this. Well, I'm pretty pleased with this. It's time to get the remains of the old edge off. I'm just going to cut it off. If this thing works afterwards, well, I'm quite surprised, to be honest. Okay, let's get some alcohol. This is what I use. I use it for, well, cleaning the surface of the CPU when applying new thermal paste. Other cleaning purposes as well. And yeah, this is going to work for us. So yeah, I can't get it off any further, or I need to, well, scrape it off, maybe. Just going to see if this will work. I would be kind of surprised, to be honest. And we're going to do the same with the edge of the cone. Just the part where the glue will be on. Then we get to the gluing part. Let's see. Well, it's in Dutch. It's glue for speaker repair. You can leave it on the shelf for about, well, 3 months, I believe. Yeah. And drying time, if you call it like that, is between 30 minutes and 2 hours. So it's not fast drying. And we need some time. As you can see, I'm not very good with a steady hand. So that's the first part. Now the new edge. So now we get it on the speaker and hope for the best. Maybe the cotton buds wasn't such a good idea to use as a tool to get the edge on the cone, because there are little pieces of cotton in the glue. And at the moment I wanted to do a video while I'm at it I wanted to do a video on Unraid again, where I'm reconfiguring the backup server. I installed two 2TB hard drives in my Open Media Vault / YouTube tutorial server, my Gen 8, and I use those for my internal backups of my Unraid server. So if my Unraid server fails, or the drives that has the data, then I'm covered. But at the moment I'm also working 6 days a week, and I don't have that much spare time on my hands. So yeah, that one has to wait a little bit longer. This is going all right. But that one, that video will probably be when I'm done testing. I'm testing with rclone, by the way, and I have Duplicati in the pipeline. But that one is really for backups, and what I want is a bit of a mix between both, if I can. So as well Duplicati as well as rclone. rclone for direct access to my files on the backup side, and Duplicati for the retention of the backups. Well, this is the best I can do now. So we'll just leave this to dry, and yeah, check back within the next hour. So almost 2 hours have gone by now, and well, as you can see, it's pretty solid. I'm pretty pleased with the result. So what we're gonna do now is glue the edge to the bracket of the speaker, and yeah, let's see how that goes. I have a glass, and we're gonna put that one on top of it once we are 100% sure that the speaker is centered. So and then we let it to dry for another couple of hours, and then we're going to test drive it before we're putting this whole speaker back into place as how it was. So yeah, the idea is to get below the edge and get a bit of glue all around it, and yeah, that will be it. And I'm sorry, but the only way I can do this is by not showing this on cam. Otherwise I can't see where the glue is. Now in this case I rather use too much glue than just a little bit too little, obviously. And I'm just going to let it rest into place, because our speaker is pretty much centered now. So we're quite lucky with that. So like that. As you can see, the glue is everywhere. That doesn't, wow, this stuff is sticky. That doesn't really matter. As long as it's there where we want it to. Glue? I haven't got a clue. It's still free. Just gonna let the glue do its thing, and after a couple of hours we'll check back to see how good it got. Yeah. So over 2.5 hours have gone by, and it's time to see how we did and how the glue did. It's still sticky, but that's what's on the outside. But maybe we can get this one a little bit over to this side, like that. Yes. As you can see, I've connected a cable to the internals of the speaker, and we're gonna test drive this by playing a couple of well, sample files really, and that's because we want to make sure that the speaker is centered properly. So let's see. Good hi-fi. They have a couple of sample files on their website, and I will show you in the video. Let's see, samples for testing. We have 10 Hz to 1000 Hz sweep, and we have a 20 Hz to 200 Hz sweep. I don't want to test it at very high volume. I only want to see the speaker move. That's the only goal we have here. If that's working all right, then we're gonna put this one together, this unit, and we can test some real music. And I'm pretty excited about this, so yeah. It's playing audio, so that's a good sign. We go for the next sample. A 20 Hz to 200 Hz sweep, last 10 seconds. Well, I don't hear any rubbing, so I think that's good. We can, maybe we can use some audio. Yeah. It's moving freely, so that's really nice. And that's of course the right speaker. On some points it's very soft, to be honest. And I don't like that too much. So we're gonna let it harden out, and tomorrow I will check back again and see how the glue is. So a little bit over 24 hours when I first started gluing the new foam edge onto the speaker, and it looks pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with the result, although the glue is still a bit sticky. So now we're gonna mount this speaker back into its original casing, and we have this, well, gasket rubber thing. It's foam actually, and I think its only purpose is to prevent resonating from the speaker and the chassis. So we'll leave that right where it needs to be, and I'm going to disconnect the temporary cable we use for audio testing this speaker, and it works really well, so that's nice. Exactly what we wanted. So let's see. That thing goes there, and the speaker grill will be on like that, so that means this speaker will need to be mounted like this, if I'm correct. Like that. After we're done by reassembling this speaker unit, we're gonna test drive it again. Just with some sample audio I used last night, that will be fine. The speaker is reinstalled, and the tweeter, well, we didn't got that one out, so now the only thing left to do is reconnect the wires, and we should be good to go. The smaller one, now let's get this unit back into place, and so we installed a couple of screws just to keep it in place. Oh yeah, we needed a longer screwdriver for that. This and one on this side. So the sound you hear now is on both speakers. And now we get only left in the party. That's this one. And now only the right one. Let's get the volume up a little bit. 18. So this is right. And this is left. I think it will need all the screws. Well, I'm pretty pleased. It's not boom, boom, boom. That sound is gone. Of course, the glue is still a little bit sticky, so I will be a little bit careful with these speakers for the next couple of weeks. Let me get this volume down a little bit. If I understand correctly, these new edges will need some time to calibrate, call it whatever you want. But they will smoothen out over time and the sound quality will be a little bit better. But I'm actually quite pleased with the sound quality they produce right now. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is the first time I attempt to repair like this. So yeah, the result is very pleasing. Yeah, very rewarding as well. Now the only thing left to do is get this clean and well, get this cover on top of this. Only after we install the rest of the screws. So with that, I'm gonna leave the video at this. If you have any comments, suggestions, maybe some advice, you can leave them down in the comment section. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next one. Bye!